Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video, we will learn how to manage user in the 365 admin center. So let's begin. First, we're going to add our user. In this case would be Monica Hill. Here we can select the domain that we want to use for this user. As we can see here, this option creates a password for all automatically. If I uncheck it, I can enter the password manually. This option here makes the user to change the password once that he uses the password that was either created by the system or manually created for us. In this case, I want the password to be permanent. So in that case, the user doesn't have to change it. So let's click on next. Here we can select the location, just in case that we have multiple branches in different location. We can select here the location for this user. Here we can assign the user license. The ones that are grayed out, as we can see, for example, the third, the fourth, and also the last one. As you can see, the square option is grayed out. That means that those licenses are not available. So also you can see the details of the application that the user will be able to access. You can also uncheck it if you want to remove that access based on the license. So let's click on next. Here, if the user is an administrator, you can provide roles. Also, you have a different category if you want to assign the role based, the access based on category. So in this case, Monica is not an administrator, so she doesn't need access to the admin center. Also, here you can provide more details about these users. So let's click on finish adding. If I click on here, I will be able to see the password that the system automatically generated for me. So I can print this information, and also I can make a template. We will talk about later template. So let's click on closed. And let's talk about the templates really quick. So here, this is another way that we can create a user. For example, template example. Let's leave this check for other administrator to be able to use this template. Let's click on next. Here, I want that every user that is created with this template will have the same preset configuration. For example, every user that's going to be created with this template will have the infrastructuretv.com domain. The password will be auto generated, and also the user must change the password that once that he uses this password that the system will generate. So the location will be always Dominican Republic. It will be assigned Microsoft 365, Microsoft E5 license, and also a Microsoft Teams Premium license, and won't be an administrator. And in case that you want to add a department information, let's say that this template is for a specific department, you can put the department information here and click on next, finish. And as you can see, once that you try to create a user with this template, you will see that the domain is selected, the password will be auto-generated, and also you can see that information like the domain, the password, the product license that will be used, the role and profile information is pre-selected. So for that, we use the template. Another way is to use make a bulk adding of the user. You can add up to 250 and 49 users at the same time. You put the first, last name, the username, and also the domain. And once that you add that information, you can also use a CSV file, and you can then upload it for the user creation. You can also download this one, which includes an example of the information that you need to add. You can then assign the license that these users will be using, and then click on next and finish the process. That is also another way that we can use to create user. So we need to delete a user. We can do it using the delete option that we just saw. For example, Chris Green. As you can see here, it says that the user can be restored within 30 days. After 30 days, all the data or the documents, the file will be completely removed for the user. In the meantime, you can recover data, you can access to OneDrive and things related to this user, but after 30 days, everything will be removed. And also, take into account that once that you remove a user, the calendar items analysis will be automatically removed. So even if you restore the user within this range, this information will be removed. So you can delete the user and you can restore the users in this option here. From here you can let's say restore the user. For this you need to change the password. In this case I won't do it. So you can also select select the user and delete it too. So let's go to Annie. So here we can also change the password for Annie, right? In case that the user requests a password change. We already know these two options. You can block the sign in for this user. If the user is already signed in, it could take up to 60 minutes to log out the user. But when he tried to access to the account, the block would be immediately. So you select this option and you will be able to block the user. Now, once that you block a user, you will see this flag here, this red flag saying that the user sign in is blocked. In order to unblock it, you click on unblock sign in, and it can take up to 15 minutes for the users to be able to sign in back to his account. If you want to change, right, or add a photo for this user, you can do it. Here you can, for example, change the user primary email. You can create aliases. Also, keep in mind that if you change the primary email, for example, you will see that the previous one becomes an alias. So you can, for example, delete alias and you can convert an alias to the primary email. So also, as you can see here, you can change the domain for this account. So here you can see it's the same option basically, but the difference is that if the user account has an alias, you will see the alias listed here. So you can see here the last sign-in information for the user. You can sign out the user from all his session. You can here add the alternate account for this user. The account can't be associated with the domain. For example, if you try to put here an account associated with the Silver IT domain, it won't let you. It's supposed to be like a personal account that you want to use when you are doing the recovery or the reset process of your password. You can here add the user or remove the user to groups. You can add the manager information. This information will affect the organization chart that you see on Teams and also in Outlook, like to see to who these people report and also the people that he work with. So you can add here the roles and also the alternate email again. What else? For example, let's see, is this the same Easter? Okay. So for example, Hani is part of different couple of groups. Let's see. More important information, you can update the user information here if you need. You can also see if the user has used the Microsoft 365 application, and in case that the user hasn't used it, you can send the invitation to download the application. That is also useful. Here you can manage the multi-factor authentication, but that is done from Microsoft Entra ID. It's not from the admin center here. For the devices, you will be able to see the devices that the user has signed in. In the licenses apps, you can also manage the license for the user, also the location for the users. For the mail, in case that you want to provide like read and manage permission for somebody, let's say that let's say Antonio Garcias want to be able to see the emails that come to any account, and he would like to manage those emails and all of that. So you can provide the read and manage permission, and like it would be added like another account to his Outlook account. Let's try to find an example for this. Okay, so here we have an example. So once that you provide the mailbox permission for read and manage, the user will be able to see the mailbox for that person. So you can see the inbox, the draft, the sent items, the deleted items, and so on. So that's what I meant. And if you provide the send as permission, for example, Antonio will be able to send emails from any account, and also you can send it on behalf of Annie. So here, for example, you can block the access, like using, for example, if you don't want Annie to use the browser to access to Outlook, you can like just uncheck it. Or if you don't want the user to use the desktop application to access, you can also make those changes here for this specific user. So here, the manage global address list visibility, if you uncheck this option, you won't be able to find this user in the organization address list. You can also turn on the automatic reply for the user inside of the organization. Let's say if Annie is on vacation, you can set a message for any people that belongs to the organization to receive an automatic reply, or also for senders that are outside of the organization. So here you can enable forwarding. So any emails that is sent to Annie, it can be sent, for example, to Antonio. And this option here that says keep a copy of forwarded email in this inbox means that even though the emails are sent to Antonio, a copy will remain in Annie account. If you remove this option, all the email will be sent to Antonio and nothing will be in the inbox for Annie, because any copy won't be left. Okay, so here you can convert this account into shared mailbox, just in case. And here you can edit like Exchange property that will take you to the Exchange admin center. So litigation hall, as you can see here, this is if you want like to retain the user's item, even though he deleted from his inbox, those items won't be like permanently deleted, so it will be retained for Microsoft. Let's see, for OneDrive here, you can like provide access to people OneDrive. For example, if you want that Antonio is able to access to any OneDrive files, you here generate a link that he can use. But that's not the first step. That's basically the second step. The first step is going to SharePoint. And here in the I click on. Okay, so we go here to SharePoint, and here we go to more features, and then on the user profiles we click on open. So now here on the user profile, we click on manage user profiles, and as Annie, basically I recently added a license. I won't be able to deal with her account, but let's use, for example, my account. That's fine. So once my account is found, I make a right click and then I click on manage site collection owners. So here I will see a window that will let me add users which will have access to my OneDrive and also to other sites for me. So for example, if this is if this is, for example, any account, I will see here the Annie name, and here I can, for example, add Antonio, and after that Antonio will be able to access to OneDrive and also to other sites for this account. So this information that we see, for example, here, the retention and the storage space, this information is configured from SharePoint. So from here you go to settings, and here you will see the retention information and also the storage limits in case that you want to change it. Here you can see the storage used for this account, and you can also manage the sharing. For example, if you want the user, if you don't want the user to share information like files and things like that with people outside the organization, you can uncheck this and save it. And if you want only sharing to authenticated guests or anonymous guests or with existing guests, you can make these changes here. So let's cancel here. Perfect. So, and those are like the most important options that you use when managing user from Microsoft 365 Admin Center. If you have any question, if you have any doubt, please leave it in the comment, and see you in the next video.